Bashantoda's house was tightly shut and there was no wind. But suddenly a push was felt and I opened the door. A gust of wind seemed to push me and someone gave me a sudden push on the cheek. What was this? I was surprised. I tried to regain my composure and I felt my cheek burning. Who had pushed me? Reaching the doorstep, I found the houses on either side. The large windows of the houses, most of which had shattered panes, saw it in the breeze. As I reached the end of the corridor, Bhanu opened the door to a room that had been closed for many days. A loud, eerie sound, as if a demon's slumber had been disturbed after a long time, echoed. Is this house special?
About 15 years ago, this was where the landlord's only younger brother passed away. That's why it's reserved for you.
This is quite intriguing. Feels like I'm getting a thrilling sensation. I placed my dusty bag on a chair in the room and sat on the bed. Even though these strange occurrences were unsettling, I offered to get some food from Bhanu. I went to raise the hurricane to follow his footsteps along the corridor. I saw that the key is tight. However, I needed to clean the room for a comfortable night's stay. Unfortunately, my mobile phone's battery was running critically low and I hadn't brought the charger from the office. So I was concerned that my phone might run out of power before the day was over. Nonetheless, I lit up the entire house. You could tell from the walls and ceilings that no one had lived here for a long time. Dust and cobwebs had accumulated. I wasn't particularly interested in the walls, but I wanted the bed, so I dusted off the bed. My mobile phone reported that it was almost 9 in the evening. I was hearing an unclear voice message from Bashantoda's downstairs. Despite his age, the old folks were still lively. I abruptly rushed outside through the wide open door, thinking someone was coming. However, the door corridor was the only one I had just opened. No one else would be coming from outside. But my eyes could certainly deceive me. As far as I could see, there was only darkness and another corridor. However, I could make out a faint glimmer. Suddenly, I thought someone was standing next to me. I could smell a strong scent of a lit cigarette. I turned and gazed around, but there was no one there. Those who were in the hall were already in the middle of a conversation. So I figured it wasn't a cigarette. Bashantoda was not there. However, there was someone next door in the corridor of my neighbor's house, smoking a cigarette. Who's there? Who's there? No one responded. In times like this, Bhanu aggressively pushed the main door open, signifying that dinner was ready. Bhanu entered and asked, "Who smokes in this house?"
Yes, younger sir.
Alright, Bhanu. Does anyone live next door to me?
That house is a study room of younger sirs.
Bhanu responded to my question with a smile. His laughter seemed out of place in the darkness. As he spoke, Bhanu grew more animated. My inner turmoil had dissipated. This was exactly what I had hoped for, and I had begun to achieve it. After finishing dinner, I sat down to write about my personal experience in my diary. I removed the cover plate from the table and saw rice with fried eggplant, mung bean dal, and a large ring of fish. It was probably cooked on a wood-burning stove. My stomach immediately felt content and full. I finished dinner in the dim light of a hurricane lamp. It was a quiet night now. I stepped outside to leave the dishes and utensils. I felt like taking a short walk outside, so I placed the dishes and utensils outside, turned on my torch, and started walking down the corridor. Then I went near a big window and shone the torch light outside. I couldn't see too far, but the sound of water made me feel like the pond was very close. At the end of the corridor in my house, there's a bathroom. I used the torchlight to check. and there was a bucket of water there. The walls were pale and dirty. I couldn't tell why. I decided to get out of there quickly. The door of my neighbor Basantada's house was tightly shut, and there was no wind. But suddenly a push was felt, and I opened the door. A gust of wind seemed to push me, and someone gave me a sudden push on the cheek. What was this? I was surprised. I tried to regain my composure, and I felt my cheek burning. Who had pushed me? I understood when I saw the torch flickering. The torch battery was running out. I left the torchlight outside. All around was pitch black. I couldn't make out the place very well, but the sound of a musical instrument was reaching me. It seemed like someone was dancing. Was it a dancer from the landlord's mansion, or perhaps a female member of this house? I had no knowledge about this house except for a vague story I had heard once. Regardless, I decided to take a look, so I walked down the corridor. The sound was coming from inside this closed-off house. From this closed house, the sound of music and dancing was clear. Did someone really exist inside, or was I imagining things? I knocked on the door 3 times, but no one answered. I heard a soft push from inside, and I saw the door open. I entered and saw that the house was quite big. A lantern was glowing, and I saw someone dancing. 5 or 6 people sitting around in a circle. There was a drummer, a flutist, and the one singing held a harmonium. It was like a lively gathering. Music and dance has brought everything to life in a moment. I sat down with my heart pounding, lost in my thoughts. Bharu soon arrived, holding a chair. I sat down and saw that Basantada was sitting to the side. Now his face was clearer in my sight. His wrinkles were evident, and it was clear that age had caught up with him. As I tried to calculate his age, different thoughts and speculations crowded in my mind. I was unable to process them all at once. Suddenly, I heard a shriek, and the commotion interrupted my thoughts. In the middle of the dance floor, it seemed like Basantada was attacking a much younger person. The chaos and the fight continued.
Get out of my sight. I never thought you would do such a thing. Are you ashamed to have a relationship with a dancer?
Amidst the confusion, I noticed that I was lying in a large empty room. Various stolen items were scattered around. It was probably a rented house. Chairs, tables, harmoniums, and broken doors from the door to the window. I had demolished everything. My hands and face were covered in ash. My head was throbbing, and I couldn't figure out if what I had seen a little while ago was real or a dream. Did I make a mistake with my own eyes, or it was just a dream? Did I see so many people, or was it all a figment of my imagination? But I still can't understand one thing. when I had entered with so much force, who had pushed me back. My cheek was burning and my ear was making a buzzing sound. My head was spinning and I needed to sit down and catch my breath.
Thanks you guys for watching the full story. Let me know how you like the story by commenting. If you like it, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be the first to receive new story notifications.